Tejo pulled his jacket tighter as the cold rain hit his face. The streets of Seoul were quiet at this late hour. Most people were already home, warm and safe in their apartments. But Dae-ho had stayed late at the repair shop again. His boss Kim Tae-jun always had one more car that needed fixing before morning. His shoes made soft sounds on the wet pavement. The street lights made everything look yellow and blurry through the rain. Tae-ho was tired. His hands were still dirty from working on engines all day. Oil stains covered his old work clothes. He wanted nothing more than to get home, eat some instant noodles, and sleep. That was when he heard the sound. It was soft, like a small animal crying. Tae-ho stopped walking and listened. The sound came again from the dark alley between two old buildings. He should have kept walking. Seoul had many stray cats and dogs, but something about this sound was different. It sounded almost like a child. Tae-ho looked around. The street was empty. No one would see him if he checked the alley. He pulled out his phone and turned on the flashlight. The white light cut through the darkness as he walked into the narrow space between buildings. Garbage bags were piled against the walls. The smell was not good. Rain dripped from the fire escapes above. Tae-ho moved his phone light slowly, looking for whatever was making the noise. Then he saw it. Behind a stack of wet cardboard boxes, something was hiding. At first, Tae-ho thought it was a child wearing strange clothes. But as he looked closer, his heart started beating fast. This was not a human child. The creature was small, about the size of a 6-year-old, but its skin was blue-gray like the color of storm clouds. Its eyes were huge and dark, much bigger than human eyes. It had thin arms and legs, and its fingers were longer than they should be. When it looked up at Tae-ho, he could see it was scared. Tae-ho should have run. He should have called the police. But the creature looked hurt and alone. Rain had soaked through whatever clothes it was wearing. Its big eyes looked at him with fear but also hope. "Hey," Tae-ho said softly. His voice was gentle, like he was talking to a scared animal. "Are you okay?" The creature made a soft sound. It tried to move deeper into the shadows, but Tae-ho could see it was hurt. One of its thin legs was not working right. Tae-ho had grown up without parents. He knew what it felt like to be alone and scared. He knew what it was like when no one cared if you were hurt or hungry. Looking at this strange creature, all he could see was something that needed help. He reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out an energy bar. It was his dinner, but he was not hungry anymore. Slowly, he held it out to the creature. "Are you hungry?" he asked. The creature looked at the food, then at Tae-ho's face. It seemed to be thinking. Then, very carefully, it reached out one long finger and touched the energy bar. When Tae-ho did not move away, the creature took the food. It ate quickly, like it had not eaten in a long time. When it was done, it looked at Tae-ho again. This time, its big eyes did not look as scared. "You can't stay here," Tae-ho said. He looked up at the dark sky. The rain was getting heavier. "You'll get sick." The creature tilted its head like it was trying to understand his words. Then it made a soft sound that almost sounded like it was trying to copy the way Tae-ho talked. Tae-ho made a decision that would change his life forever. He took off his jacket and held it out to the creature. "Come on. My apartment is not far." The creature looked at the jacket, then at Tae-ho. Very slowly, it came out from behind the boxes. Tae-ho could see now that it was definitely hurt. It could not put weight on its left leg. Without thinking, Tae-ho reached out to help. The creature flinched when Tae-ho touched it, but it did not run away. Its skin felt different from human skin, smoother and cooler. But under the strange appearance, Tae-ho could feel that this was just a scared child who needed help. "What's your name?" Tae-ho asked as he helped the creature put on his jacket. The jacket was too big, but it would keep the rain off. The creature made a soft sound. "Kitu," it said. The words were hard for it to say, but Tae-ho understood. "Kido," Tae-ho repeated. "Okay, Kido, I'm Tae-ho. Can you walk?" Kido tried to take a step and almost fell. Without hesitation, Tae-ho picked him up. Kido was lighter than a human child would be. He felt fragile, like he might break if Tae-ho was not careful. The walk to Tae-ho's apartment took 20 minutes. He tried to keep Kido dry under his jacket hood. A few people passed them on the street, but it was dark and raining. No one looked too closely at what Tae-ho was carrying. His apartment building was old and small. Tae-ho lived on the 3rd floor. He was glad the elevator was working tonight. Carrying Kido up 3 flights of stairs would have been hard. His apartment was tiny. Just one room with a small kitchen and bathroom. But it was warm and dry. Deho set Keto down on the old couch and turned on the lights. In the bright light, Keto looked even more strange and wonderful. His blue-gray skin had patterns on it like very faint tattoos. His hair was white and soft, almost like feathers. But his eyes were what made Deho sure this was something special. They were not just big, they were smart. This creature was thinking and understanding much more than it could say. "Are you still hungry?" Deho asked. Keto nodded. It was a very human gesture, and it made Deho smile. Deho went to his small kitchen and looked in the refrigerator. He did not have much food, but he found some rice and vegetables. As he cooked, he could feel Keto watching him. When he looked back, Keto was sitting very still on the couch like he was afraid to touch anything. "It's okay," Deho said. "This is your home now." The words surprised him as he said them. He had not planned to say that. But looking at Keto, alone and hurt in a world that was not his own, Deho knew it was true. He could not let this child face the world alone. When the food was ready, Deho brought it to Keto. The alien child ate carefully, watching Deho's face to make sure he was doing it right. When he was done, he made a sound that Deho thought might mean thank you. "Sleep," Deho said, pointing to the couch. "Rest." Keto curled up on the couch like a cat. Deho brought him a blanket and turned off the lights. In the darkness, he could hear Keto breathing softly. Deho lay on his bed and stared at the ceiling. What had he done? He was hiding an alien in his apartment. If anyone found out, he would be in serious trouble. But when he thought about leaving Keto alone in that alley, he knew he had made the right choice. Tomorrow, he would figure out what to do next. Tonight, a lost child was safe and warm. That was enough. 3 weeks had passed since Deho found Keto in the alley. The alien child was healing fast. His hurt leg was almost better now. But more surprising was how quickly he was learning to be human. Keto could speak Korean now. Not perfectly, but well enough to have real conversations. His voice was soft and musical, different from human voices. When he talked, it sounded like he was singing. Deho had taught him simple words first: food, water, sleep, safe. Now Keto could ask questions and tell stories. "Deho," Keto said one morning as they ate breakfast, "why do humans cook food?" "My people eat things as they are. Cooking makes food taste better," Deho explained. "And it kills germs that might make us sick." Keto nodded seriously. He was always asking questions like this. He wanted to understand everything about human life. How cars worked, why people wore different clothes, why some humans lived alone while others lived in families. The hardest question came on a rainy Tuesday morning. Keto was sitting by the window watching people walk to work with umbrellas. "Deho," he said quietly, "are you my father now?" Deho stopped washing dishes. He had been thinking about this question for days. Keto called him by his name, not any word that meant father, but the way Keto looked at him, the way he trusted him completely, it felt like family. "Do you want me to be?" Deho asked. Keto was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "I remember my real father a little bit. He had blue skin like me, but darker. He was very tall and wore shiny clothes. But he never cooked food for me. He never sang songs to help me sleep." "You do those things." "Then yes," Deho said. "I am your father now." Keto smiled. It was the first time Deho had seen him truly happy. Life was getting better for both of them. Keto had an amazing gift for understanding how things worked. When Deho brought home broken electronics from the repair shop, Keto could fix them just by touching them and thinking hard. He could look at a broken radio and somehow know exactly which wire was wrong. "How do you do that?" Deho asked one evening. Keto had just fixed a computer that had been broken for months. "I can feel the electricity," Keto said. "It talks to me. It tells me where it wants to go." This gift was making Deho's work much easier. Kim Tae-jun, his boss, was amazed by how good Deho had become at fixing things. Cars that other mechanics could not repair, Deho could fix in minutes. He got a raise and started getting more interesting jobs. "You have become very good very fast," Tae-jun said one day. "Are you studying at night?" "Something like that," Deho said. He could not explain that an alien child was teaching him about electronics. But Keto was not just helping with work. He was making Deho's whole life brighter. The small apartment that had felt lonely before now felt like a real home. Keto would wait for Deho to come back from work each day. He would have dinner ready using the recipes Deho had taught him. In the evenings, they would watch television together, and Keto would ask endless questions about the shows. "Why is that man crying?" Keto asked during a drama. His friend died, Daeho explained. But why does water come from his eyes? That's how humans show sadness. We cry when we feel very sad or very happy. Do my people cry? Keto asked. I don't know. Do you remember? Keto was quiet. I remember being scared. But I don't remember crying. These conversations about Keto's past were difficult. The alien child remembered some things about his life before Earth, but the memories came in pieces. He remembered a big house with white walls. He remembered other people with blue skin like his. He remembered feeling very important, like everyone had to do what he said. But he also remembered fear. Running through dark hallways, hiding in small spaces, the feeling that someone wanted to hurt him. I think someone was chasing me, Keto said one night. They were sitting on the couch and Keto was having trouble sleeping. In my dreams, I see big people in metal clothes. They have weapons that glow. They want to catch me. You're safe now, Daeho promised. No one will hurt you here. But Keto's nightmares were getting worse. Sometimes he would wake up screaming words in a language Daeho did not understand. He would talk about the choosing and the crown that burns. When Daeho asked what these things meant, Keto would just shake his head. I don't want to remember, he would say. The peaceful routine was broken one Saturday when Daeho's sister So Young came to visit. She was younger than Daeho by 5 years and studied languages at university. She was smart and curious about everything. Daeho had forgotten she was coming. When the doorbell rang, Keto was sitting at the kitchen table, not wearing anything to hide his blue skin. There was no time to hide him. Daeho, I brought lunch for... So Young stopped talking when she saw Keto. Her mouth fell open. The bag of food fell from her hands. So Young, Daeho said carefully. This is Keto. Hello, Keto said politely. He had learned good manners from watching Daeho. So Young looked at Daeho, then at Keto, then back at Daeho. Is that an alien? Yes. So Young sat down hard in the nearest chair. She stared at Keto for a long time. Keto stared back, his big dark eyes curious but not afraid. Where did he come from? She finally asked. Daeho told her the whole story. How he found Keto in the alley. How the alien child had learned to speak Korean. How they had become family. This is crazy, So Young said. But she was not angry or scared. She was excited. Do you know how amazing this is? First contact with an alien species and my brother finds him like a lost puppy. He's not a puppy, Daeho said. He's my son. So Young looked at Keto again. Can you really understand everything we're saying? Yes, Keto said. Your Korean is very clear, easier to understand than Daeho's. So Young laughed. It was a surprised, delighted laugh. He has a sense of humor. From that day on, So Young became Keto's protector too. She helped create false papers that said Keto was Daeho's adopted cousin from a distant province. She taught him about human culture and helped him practice acting more human when other people were around. You need to blink more, she told him one day. Humans blink every few seconds. You hardly blink at all. Why do humans need to blink so much? Keto asked. To keep our eyes wet. Don't your eyes get dry? No. My eyes make their own water. So Young was fascinated by every difference between Keto and humans. She started keeping notes like a scientist studying a new species. But she also loved him like family. She would bring him books and toys. She helped Daeho figure out how to enroll Keto in school. He's too smart for regular classes, she said after testing Keto's learning abilities. He can solve math problems that university students struggle with. But he needs to learn how to be around other humans, Daeho said. He can't live hidden forever. They were working on this problem when the strange things started happening. It began with the lights. Street lights would flicker when Keto walked under them. Car radios would change stations by themselves when he was near. Electronic devices in stores would turn on and off without anyone touching them. It's getting stronger, Keto said one evening. He looked worried. I can feel something growing inside me. Like electricity, but different. Is it hurting you? Daeho asked. No, but it wants to do things. It wants to reach out and touch other minds. That night, the first strange lights appeared in the sky. They were not airplanes or helicopters. They moved too fast and changed direction too quickly. The news reported them as unexplained phenomena, but only a few people saw them. Keto stood at the window looking up at the lights with an expression Daeho had never seen before. It was fear, but also recognition. They're looking for me, Keto whispered. Who is? Daeho asked, but he was afraid he already knew the answer. My people. They know I'm here now. The peaceful weeks of being a normal family were ending. Something was coming. And Daiho could feel that their lives were about to change forever. But as he looked at Kito, scared but trying to be brave, he made a silent promise. Whatever came next, they would face it together. Kito was his son now, alien or not, and Daiho would protect his family no matter what. The man in the black suit knocked on Daiho's door at exactly 7 in the morning. Daiho was getting ready for work when he heard the soft, polite knocking. Through the peephole, he could see a serious-looking man with glasses and a briefcase. "Lee Daiho?" the man asked when Daiho opened the door. "Yes. My name is Dr. Han Minwoo. I work for the government. I need to talk to you about some unusual energy readings we've detected in this area." Daiho's heart started beating fast. Behind him, he could hear Kito moving quietly toward the bedroom. They had practiced this. If any one official came to the door, Kito would hide. "I don't know anything about energy readings," Daiho said. Dr. Han smiled, but it was not a friendly smile. "May I come in? This is a matter of national security." Daiho had no choice. He stepped aside and let Dr. Han enter the apartment. The government man looked around carefully, taking note of everything. His eyes stopped on the kitchen table where 2 bowls sat from breakfast. "You live alone." "According to our records," Dr. Han said. "Yes, but you have 2 bowls here. I had a guest last night." Dr. Han nodded and pulled out a small electronic device. It looked like a tablet, but it made soft beeping sounds. As he moved it around the apartment, the beeping got faster. "Mr. Lee, 3 weeks ago, satellites detected a very unusual energy signature in this neighborhood. The signature suggests technology that is not from Earth. Since then, the signal has been getting stronger every day." Daiho tried to keep his face calm. "That sounds very interesting, but I don't know anything about it. The signal is strongest right here in your apartment." The beeping from Dr. Han's device was very fast now. He walked toward the bedroom door and the beeping became almost continuous. "Dr. Han," Daiho said quickly, "I think you should leave." "I'm afraid I can't do that." Dr. Han reached for the bedroom door handle. That was when Kito appeared. He stepped out of the bedroom, no longer trying to hide. His blue-gray skin seemed to glow slightly in the morning light from the windows. His large dark eyes looked directly at Dr. Han without fear. "Hello," Kito said in perfect Korean. "You are looking for me." Dr. Han dropped his device. It clattered on the floor, still beeping frantically. The government man stared at Kito with his mouth open. "Dear God," Dr. Han whispered. "It's real." "You're real." "I am real," Kito agreed. "And I think it is time to tell you who I really am." Daiho wanted to stop Kito from talking, but something in the alien child's voice made him wait. Kito sounded different now. Older, more serious. "My name is not really Kito," the alien child said. "That is just the name Daiho gave me because my real name is hard for humans to say. My real name is Prince Velkitos, heir to the Veltar Empire." Dr. Han sat down heavily in Daiho's chair. "Prince?" "Yes, my father was Emperor Velkanor. My mother was Empress Silthara. They ruled over 300 worlds and billions of people." "Was?" Daiho asked.
He had never heard Kito talk about his parents in the past tense before. Kito's expression became sad.
"They are dead. My uncle Zalmoth killed them when I was very young. He wanted to be emperor instead of waiting for me to grow up." Dr. Han was taking notes frantically. "How did you get to Earth?" "Uncle Zalmoth could not just kill me. In our culture, if he murdered the rightful heir, it would start a civil war. So he had a different plan. He sent me to a planet far away where I would die naturally. Then he could claim the throne legally." "But you didn't die," Daiho said. "No, because you saved me." Kito looked at Daiho with love and gratitude. "You gave me something my uncle never expected me to find, a family that cared about me." Dr. Han was still writing. "How old are you? In human years?" 17, I think. Old enough to claim my throne according to Veltar law. And that's why the energy readings are getting stronger?" Kito nodded. "When a Veltar prince reaches the age of succession, certain abilities awaken. I can feel minds around me now. I can sense emotions and thoughts. And unfortunately, these abilities send signals across space. Signals that your uncle can detect," Dr. Han said. "Yes. He knows I'm alive now, and he knows I am here on Earth." Daiho felt cold. "Is he coming?" "The Veltar fleet is already on its way. They will be here in 3 days." Dr. Han stood up quickly. 3 days? How many ships? Enough to destroy this entire planet if they choose to, Quito said quietly. The room was silent for a long moment. Then Dr. Han started talking very fast into a small communication device. Priority Alpha message for the director. We have confirmed alien contact. Hostile fleet approaching Earth. ETA 3 days. Requesting immediate emergency protocols. When he finished the call, Dr. Han looked at Quito. What do they want? They want me. Uncle Zalmoth cannot be emperor as long as I am alive. He will try to kill me and anyone who has helped me. We have to get you somewhere safe, Deho said. There is nowhere safe on this planet when the Veltar fleet arrives, Quito said. Their weapons can turn mountains into dust. Their sensors can find me anywhere I hide. Then what do we do? Dr. Han asked. Quito was quiet for a long time. When he spoke again, his voice was very soft. I have to surrender myself to them. It is the only way to save Earth. No, Deho said immediately. We're not giving you to someone who wants to kill you. If I don't surrender, Uncle Zalmoth will destroy this entire world to make sure I die. Billions of humans will die because of me. There has to be another way. Dr. Han was making more phone calls. Within an hour, the apartment was full of government agents. They asked Quito hundreds of questions about Veltar technology, their weapons, their culture. Quito answered everything honestly. Their ships are powered by controlled black holes, he explained. One ship could destroy your moon. The fleet coming here has 50 ships. What are their weaknesses? Asked Agent Park, a serious woman with short hair. They are very proud. They believe they are better than all other species. They think humans are barely intelligent animals. How do they communicate? Telepathically mostly. But they have translation devices for speaking with other species. The questions went on for hours. Deho sat beside Quito the whole time, holding his hand. The alien child looked smaller now, surrounded by all these adults with their serious faces and urgent questions. Finally, Dr. Han asked the most important question. Is there any way to defeat them? Quito shook his head. Not with force. Your weapons cannot hurt their ships. Your fastest aircraft are too slow to escape them. Then what do you suggest? I surrender myself to save your world. There is no other choice. Like hell, Deho said. He had been quiet during the questioning, but now he was angry. You are not sacrificing yourself for us. Deho, you don't understand. No, you don't understand. You are my son. I don't care if you're human or alien or the prince of the galaxy. I am not letting anyone hurt you. Quito's eyes filled with tears. Deho had never seen him cry before. You saved my life once already. I cannot let you all die because of me. We'll find another way, Deho promised. But even as he said it, he could see the fear in everyone's eyes. 50 alien warships were coming to Earth. They had weapons that could destroy planets. They wanted to kill the alien child that Deho loved like a son. Dr. Han closed his notebook. We need to move you both to a secure location. The president will want to meet with Prince Velquitos personally. I will come, Quito said. But I want Deho and So Young to come with me. They are my family now. That can be arranged. As the government agents prepared to leave, Quito pulled Deho aside. I need you to understand something, Quito said quietly. In 3 days when the ships arrive, I may have to do things that seem wrong to you. I may have to act like a prince instead of your son. You will always be my son, Deho said, and you will always be my father. But if I have to choose between being a prince and being human, I will choose to be human. Even if it means dying, Quito, promise me something. If the choice comes down to saving me or saving Earth, you will choose Earth. Deho looked into Quito's large, serious eyes. I promise to do whatever keeps my family safe. All of my family. That includes you and So Young and every person on this planet. Quito smiled sadly. You are going to make a very difficult choice, aren't you? If I have to. They left the apartment together, surrounded by government agents. As they walked to the black cars waiting outside, Deho looked up at the sky. Somewhere up there, alien ships were coming to Earth. They wanted to kill his son. Deho had never fought a war before. He was just a mechanic who fixed cars and ate instant noodles. But if anyone tried to hurt Quito, they would learn something important about humans. Sometimes the most ordinary people could do extraordinary things when they were protecting someone they loved. The alien ships appeared in Earth's sky like dark thunderclouds. They were huge, each one the size of a city. Their metal surfaces reflected no light. making them look like holes cut out of the sky itself. People all over the world stopped what they were doing and looked up in fear and wonder. Daeho stood with Keto on the roof of the government building in Seoul. Around them, officials and scientists pointed instruments at the sky and spoke urgently into radios. But Daeho only had eyes for his son. Keto had changed in the 3 days since the government agents took them to safety. He stood taller now, and his blue-gray skin seemed to glow with inner light. The simple human clothes he loved were gone. Instead, he wore robes made of silver fabric that moved like liquid. A thin crown of white metal sat on his white hair. "You look like a prince," Daeho said quietly. "I feel like a scared child," Keto replied. His voice was still the same, still soft and musical. That gave Daeho comfort. The largest alien ship hung directly over Seoul. As they watched, a beam of light shot down from the ship. When the light faded, 3 figures stood on the rooftop with them. The aliens were tall and beautiful in a cold way. Their skin was darker blue than Keto's, almost purple. They wore armor that looked like it was made of stars. Their eyes glowed with silver light. The one in the center stepped forward. When he spoke, his voice seemed to come from inside everyone's head. "I am Regent Zalmoth, ruler of the Veltar Empire. I have come for the lost prince." Keto stepped forward. Even wearing the royal clothes, he looked small next to his uncle. "I am here, uncle." Zalmoth looked at Keto with disgust. "Look how they have ruined you. Living among these animals has made you weak. You smell like their food. You think like them. They saved my life. They contaminated you." Zalmoth's glowing eyes turned to look at the humans on the rooftop. Which one of these creatures dared to touch royalty? Daeho stepped forward before anyone could stop him. "I did." Zalmoth stared at him. "You? This small dirty thing raised the heir to the greatest empire in the galaxy?" "I raised my son," Daeho said firmly. Zalmoth laughed. It was a sound like breaking glass. "Your son? You think this makes you family? You are nothing. Your entire species is nothing. You are animals that learn to make tools." President Yoon Ji-hae, who had been standing with the other officials, stepped forward. "Regent Zalmoth, we wish to negotiate." "Silence," Zalmoth said without looking at her. "I do not negotiate with cattle." Dr. Han tried next. "We have prepared a detailed proposal for peaceful contact between our species." Zalmoth waved his hand, and Dr. Han could no longer speak. His mouth moved, but no sound came out. "I came here for one purpose only," Zalmoth announced. "To retrieve the corrupted prince and cleanse him of your influence." "I will come with you," Keto said quickly. "But you must promise not to hurt the humans." "You will come with me because you are my property," Zalmoth replied. "And I will do whatever I choose with these animals." 2 more aliens stepped forward and took Keto by the arms. Even though they looked delicate, they were strong enough to hold him easily. "Wait," Daeho said. "Please, he's just a child." "He is the prince of 300 worlds," Zalmoth said. "And he has been poisoned by your primitive emotions. Love, loyalty, compassion. These weaknesses nearly destroyed our empire once. I will not let them do so again." The aliens began to glow with the same light that had brought them down from the ship. They were preparing to leave. "Keto!" Daeho called out. Keto looked back at him with tears in his large eyes. "Thank you for being my father," he said. "I love you." Then they were gone in a flash of light. For a moment, the rooftop was silent except for the wind. Then President Yoon found her voice. "Get me a communication link to that ship," she ordered. "Now." "Ma'am, we've been trying. They're not responding to any of our signals." "Then keep trying." Dr. Han, who could speak again now that Zalmoth was gone, walked over to Daeho. "I'm sorry. We'll find a way to get him back." Daeho was staring up at the alien ship. His hands were clenched into fists. "What happens now?" "Now we wait and see what they want." They didn't have to wait long. An hour later, every television and radio on Earth began broadcasting the same message. Zalmoth's voice filled the air, speaking in perfect English and every other human language at the same time. "People of Earth," the message began, "I am Regent Zalmoth of the Veltar Empire. Your world has committed a crime against our royal family. You have harbored our lost prince and filled his mind with your primitive ideas." The message continued as images appeared on every screen. They showed Keto as a small child, running through the hallways of an alien palace. They showed the murder of his parents, their bodies falling as Zalmoth soldiers fired weapons of light. This prince was sent to your world to die cleanly as befits his royal blood. Instead, you kept him alive and corrupted him with your animal emotions. This cannot be allowed. The images changed to show Keto living with Daiho, eating human food, watching human television, laughing at human jokes. To Daiho, these pictures showed a happy child learning to love and be loved, but Zalmoth's voice made them sound like horrible crimes. The prince will be cleansed of your influence. His memories of this world will be erased. He will become the proper heir that our empire needs. More images appeared. These showed what would happen to Earth: cities burning, oceans boiling away, continents cracking like broken eggs. Your world will be sterilized to prevent further contamination of royal blood. This is not punishment. You are too insignificant to punish. This is simply cleaning. The message ended with a countdown, 72 hours until the cleansing began. On the rooftop, everyone was quiet. Finally, So Young spoke. She had arrived just before the aliens came and had watched her brother lose his adopted son. They're going to kill everyone, she said, because we loved him. Not if I can help it, Daiho said. Dr. Han looked at him. What can you do? We're talking about weapons that can destroy planets. I can talk to him. To who? Zalmoth? He won't listen to humans. Not Zalmoth. Keto. He's on that ship right now, probably being tortured or brainwashed. But he's still my son. And I know something about him that his uncle doesn't. What's that? Keto is stubborn. It's something he learned from living with humans. When he decides something is right, he doesn't give up easily. High above them on the alien ship, Keto stood in chains before his uncle's throne. The throne room was vast and cold, with walls of black metal and floors that reflected like mirrors. Hundreds of alien nobles watched as Zalmoth circled his captured nephew. Look at you, Zalmoth said with disgust. You stand like them. You think like them. You even smell like their food. They fed me when I was hungry, Keto said. They gave me a home when I was lost. They made you weak. They made me strong. Zalmoth struck him across the face. You will not defend these animals in my presence. Keto's cheek burned where his uncle had hit him, but he stood straight. They are not animals. They are my family. Your family is dead. I killed them myself. Zalmoth smiled cruelly. Your father begged for mercy at the end. Your mother cried like a child. Keto felt anger rising in his chest, but it was not the cold, controlled anger of a Veltar prince. It was the hot, protective anger of a human son. You will not speak of my parents. I will speak of whatever I choose. I am the emperor now. Zalmoth gestured to the nobles around the throne room. Tell them, nephew. Tell them how much you love the animals that raised you. Keto looked around the room at the alien faces. These were his people, the nobles of his empire. They expected him to apologize, to beg for forgiveness, to renounce his love for humans. Instead, Keto did something that surprised everyone, including himself. He smiled. Yes, he said loudly, his voice carrying to every corner of the throne room. I love them. I love the human who found me dying in an alley and took me home. I love the woman who helped me learn to be part of their family. I love their simple food and their silly television shows and their strange music, the nobles gasped. Zalmoth's face turned darker blue with rage. And I am proud, Keto continued, to have learned what real strength looks like. Not the strength to destroy planets, but the strength to save one lost child. Not the strength to command through fear, but the strength to earn love through kindness. Silence, Zalmoth roared. My father, Lee Daiho, taught me that a true king serves his people, not the other way around. He taught me that protecting the weak is more important than conquering the strong. He taught me that love is not weakness. It is the greatest power in the universe. Zalmoth raised his hand and energy began to glow around his fingers. You will die for this defiance. Then I will die human, Keto said proudly. But before Zalmoth could strike, something unexpected happened. A communication signal reached the ship from Earth. It was not from any government or military force. It was from one man with a simple radio, broadcasting to the entire alien fleet. It was from Daiho. Daiho sat in front of the radio equipment that Dr. Han had given him. His hands were shaking as he adjusted the frequency. He knew that every alien ship in the fleet would hear what he was about to say. He also knew that Zalmoth would probably kill him for it. But somewhere on that dark ship floating above Seoul, his son was in danger. That was all that mattered. This is Lee Daiho, he said into the microphone. His voice was quiet, but the radio signal carried it to every Veltar ship in the fleet. I am speaking to the crew of the Veltar ships. Not to your leaders. To you. On the flagship, Zalmoth turned toward the communication officer. Cut that signal! I cannot, my lord. It is being broadcast on all frequencies at once. The human governments are amplifying it from every radio station on the planet. Zalmoth's face grew dark with rage. Around the throne room, the alien nobles looked confused. Why was a human being allowed to speak to them? Deho continued talking. I know you can understand me. Your prince taught me some of your language, and I hope I am saying this right. He switched to speaking in broken Veltar, the words clumsy but sincere. I am father to lost prince. You want kill him for learning love? On the flagship, some of the younger nobles looked surprised. This human had learned their language. My name is Lee Dae-ho, he continued, switching back to Korean. I fix cars for a living. I live in a small apartment. I eat simple food. By your standards, I am nothing, but I am the father of Prince Velkitos. In the throne room, Keto felt tears in his eyes. His father was risking his life to save him. 3 weeks ago, I found a small hurt child in an alley. He was scared and alone. He could have been human or alien or anything else. It didn't matter. He needed help, so I helped him. Dae-ho paused, gathering his courage. Your prince didn't become weak among humans. He became strong. He learned that real power means protecting people who cannot protect themselves. He learned that a true king serves his people, not the other way around. Murmurs began spreading through the alien fleet. On dozens of ships, Veltar soldiers and officers listened to this strange human defending their lost prince. You want to kill him for learning these things? Dae-ho's voice grew stronger. Then you have forgotten what makes life worth living. Zalmoth was furious. Order the fleet to begin the attack. Destroy this planet now! But Captain Veltanus, commander of the second largest ship in the fleet, spoke up. My lord, perhaps we should hear what the human has to say. You will follow orders. With respect, my lord, this human speaks of honor and service. These are Veltar values too. On Earth, Dae-ho continued his broadcast. I have lived with your prince for weeks now. I have seen him help other people even when it cost him something. I have seen him work hard to understand new ideas. I have seen him cry when he thinks about the family he lost. The words hit many of the Veltar soldiers hard. They had grown up hearing stories about the royal family. Prince Velkitos had been just a legend to them, a lost child from old stories. But this human spoke about him like a real person. If you kill him, you kill the best leader your empire could ever have. A leader who knows that strength comes from love, not fear. A leader who would rather die than see innocent people hurt. In the throne room, Keto stood straighter. His father's words were giving him courage, but you know what? Dae-ho said, his voice now strong and clear. Even if you kill him, you will not destroy what he learned. Because love is not something you can erase. Kindness is not something you can cut out with a weapon. The things that make Prince Velkitos a good person, those things will live on in everyone who knew him. Captain Veltanus made a decision that changed everything. He turned to his communication officer. Open a channel to the entire fleet, sir. I said open a channel. I want every ship to hear this. On Veltanus's ship, the captain's voice joined Dae-ho's broadcast. I am Captain Veltanus of the Star Destroyer Velthara. I have served the Empire for 40 years. I fought beside the late Emperor in the Outer Rim Wars. And I say this human speaks truth. Gasps came from across the fleet. A high-ranking captain was publicly disagreeing with the regent. Prince Velkitos was sent away as a child, Veltanus continued. We were told he died on a distant world, but instead he lived. He grew up learning wisdom from people who had never heard of our empire. And now we want to kill him for becoming wise? Captain Veltanus, Zalmoth's voice cut across all frequencies. You will stand down immediately or be executed for treason. Then execute me, Veltanus replied calmly. But first, answer this question. When did learning compassion become a crime in the Veltar Empire? Other voices began joining the conversation. Junior officers, veteran soldiers, even some nobles started speaking up on the communication channels. The captain is right, said Commander Seltara from a cruiser. My grandmother told me stories about the old princes. They were supposed to protect the weak, not destroy them. Regent Zalmoth called out another voice. Why are we really here? To retrieve our prince or to silence him? Zalmoth was losing control of his fleet. All ships prepare to fire on the planet. Anyone who refuses will be destroyed. But something unexpected happened. Captain Veltanus' ship turned its weapons toward Zalmoth's flagship instead of toward Earth. Star Destroyer Velthara stands with Prince Velkitos, Veltanus announced. Within minutes, other ships began following his example. The fleet was dividing, with some ships staying loyal to Zalmoth while others declared for the true prince. In the throne room of the flagship, chaos erupted. Some nobles fled, while others argued loudly about what to do. Zalmoth screamed orders that fewer and fewer people were obeying. Keto used the confusion to break free from his chains. The metal couldn't hold him anymore. His royal powers were fully awakened now, and he was stronger than even he had realized. "Uncle!" Keto's voice rang out across the throne room, silencing everyone. "This ends now." Zalmoth turned to face his nephew. "You think these traitors can save you? I still command half the fleet." "You command nothing," Keto said. "You never understood what real leadership means. You rule through fear, but fear only works until someone is brave enough to speak the truth." On Earth, Deho was still broadcasting. "People of the Veltar Empire, your prince is not lost. He is right there with you. He is the child who learned to be kind in a world that was strange to him. He is the boy who helped an old human woman carry her groceries. He is the young man who fixed broken machines not for money, but because he wanted to help." Keto began walking toward his uncle's throne. With each step, more of the royal guard stepped aside to let him pass. Even they could feel the change in the air. "This is what my human father taught me," Keto said, his voice carrying to every person in the room and every ship in the fleet. "A crown is not something you wear on your head. It is something you carry in your heart, the willingness to serve others even when it costs you everything." Zalmoth raised his weapon, but his hand was shaking. "You are not fit to rule." "You're right," Keto said calmly. "I am not fit to rule like you. I cannot rule through fear and hatred. I can only rule through love and service. And if that makes me unfit in your eyes, then I accept that judgment." Something strange happened then. The alien nobles in the throne room who had watched this confrontation in silence began to kneel. Not in fear, but in respect. They had heard the humans' words about their prince, and they had seen Keto's courage in the face of death. "Long live Prince Velkitos," whispered one of the older nobles. "Long live the true emperor," said another. The whispers became voices, and the voices became a chant that spread throughout the throne room and then to the rest of the fleet. Zalmoth looked around in disbelief as his own supporters abandoned him. "This cannot be happening. I am the regent. I have ruled for years." "You have controlled for years," Keto corrected. "But you have never ruled. Ruling means earning the trust and love of your people, something I learned from the best teacher in the galaxy, a human mechanic who fixes cars and makes instant noodles." Captain Veltanus' voice came over the communication system. "Your Majesty, the fleet awaits your orders." Keto walked to the great window of the throne room and looked down at Earth. The blue and green world turned slowly below him, beautiful and fragile. "All ships stand down," he commanded. "There will be no attack on Earth instead. We will establish this world as the first protected planet of the new Veltar Commonwealth." "Your Majesty," one of the nobles asked hesitantly, "what is a commonwealth?" "Something new," Keto replied. "An empire where every world has a voice, where strength protects weakness instead of crushing it, where leaders serve their people instead of commanding them." He turned back to face the throne room. "And our first law will be this. Anyone, human or Veltar or any other species, who teaches a child to love and be loved will be honored as family to the royal house." On Earth, Deho listened to his son's words and smiled. The scared little alien child he had found in the rain had become an emperor. But more importantly, he had become a good man. 6 months later, Deho was back in his repair shop working on a car engine. But now his shop specialized in hybrid human Veltar technology. Young people from both species came to learn from him. Teacher Deho called a young Veltar student. "This engine is making strange noises.